The mystery began here in the offices of ABC7 7 on Your Side, when this manila envelope arrived by certified mail addressed to 7 on Your Side.
Letter to a bank.
And inside, a copy of a letter addressed to Sofi Bank from someone claiming to be a hacker named Killian Rose. The hacker said he used someone else's identity to apply for a loan from Sofi and got it.
We didn't know what to make of this letter.
We don't know who it came from, what the intention was, if anything in there was true.
The letter said, quote, "I was the person who applied for the loan under someone else's name. Sugi Harto. Sorry, Sugi Harto, but my group has a lot of your data. Your good credit makes you an easy target." He went on to boast, "You can't catch me."
He was basically daring us to find him.
What really made it seem more serious, though, is that the envelope was just stuffed full of highly detailed, highly sensitive information about this Sugi Harto.
It has his addresses, his social security number, his work history, screenshots from Zooms.
There was a copy of his driver's license, addresses, phone numbers, bank accounts, and these public records showing Sugi Harto works right here at the University of California at Berkeley.
We weren't sure what to make of this. Was this really a hacker confessing to a crime, or was somebody pulling a prank on us? Did this Sugi Harto even exist?
So we checked the UC Berkeley staff directory, and sure enough, there he was. We called him at work.
It was surreal. It was surreal, for sure.
Sugi told us that indeed, Sofi Bank was insisting he took out a $52,000 personal loan just before Christmas last year. Sugi said he never took out any loan and had been disputing it for weeks.
They said, "Oh no, there's a personal loan under your name." And I was like, that definitely wasn't me.
Now, on top of worrying about this loan, we showed him this packet and he realized somebody out there had an awful lot of his personal information.
It was creepy, that for sure. The details that is there is mind-boggling. Screenshot from my Zoom call, that was crazy. I mean, we've seen something like this in movies. I mean, that person could literally imposter me to do anything.
It seemed cybercriminals somewhere in the world had compiled a virtual dossier on him that they could use at any moment. So Sugi said he took cover. He closed all of his bank accounts.
Because I'm that scared and I don't want to have a bank account until this is resolved.
The letter said, quote, "Sugi Harto, I am sending these statements to a well-known customer advocate in Northern California. ABC7 on your side. If Sofi does not reach out to you, contact ABC7 on your side and make your case public."
We thought this had to be the first time a purported criminal came to 7 on Your Side asking us to help his victim.
Sofi Bank said it too received the mysterious mailing, but would not say whether it looked into the claims. However, Sofi stood by its decision, rejecting Sugi's dispute. Sofi tells 7 on Your Side, "We conducted a thorough investigation into Mr. Harto's claim of fraudulent activity when he first contacted us regarding his concerns, and throughout each conversation our team has had with him since then, treating this instance as we treat all claims of fraudulent activity with the utmost seriousness and a genuine sense of urgency, and we stand by our initial response to Mr. Harto, who we've reconfirmed was not the victim of identity theft or third-party fraud." Sofi continued to demand Sugi start making loan payments of $2,400 per month. It also sent him this debt collection warning. And in March, a delinquency appeared on Sugi's credit report. Sugi says he didn't know about the loan until January 5th, about 2 weeks after Sofi approved it, when the bank sent him this email. It said, "Your Sofi personal loan statement is ready.
Check out your loan statement." And I was, what loan statement?
He figured it was a mistake. After all, he says the loan did not show up on his credit report, nor did any credit inquiry from Sofi. So he called the bank.
They were like, "You do have an account with us and we are sending you a statement." And I was like, "No, it wasn't me."
Sofi agreed to investigate, but later sent him this form letter dated the very same day he'd called. It said the bank finished investigating and found no fraud.
So they opened and closed the investigation in the same day. It should take more than that.
Sugi filed a second dispute, but this time SoFi refused to investigate at all, saying the claim was frivolous.
Banks are definitely supposed to investigate when there's a fraud accusation.
It's really fact dependent on, what's a diligent investigation.
Experts say California law includes broad protections for identity theft victims.
If you're a victim of identity theft, an account is opened in your name, you have the right to demand that application so that you can see what information is floating out there and what was used to open that account.
Banks are also required by law to verify the identity of every new client who opens an account, a post-9/11 rule called Know Your Customer. But like many online banks, SoFi's applications are done entirely over the internet.
I do think that this calls into question the security of online banking, right? Because if it was the actual person handing over their documentation, it's a little easier to check that their ID matches the human being in front of them.
SoFi said it does require customers to verify their identity using an electronic identification tool. The process involves uploading a government ID together with a real-time video of the applicant and then verifying that they match. But Sugi said SoFi did not tell him whether it verified the person's identity or how. The only proof it provided was this truth in lending statement and a copy of the loan agreement with this electronic signature at the bottom.
It's not my regular signature, it's not that's for sure.
He says anyone could have forged it. He also showed us his credit reports, which do not show any credit inquiries by SoFi Bank, a standard practice before approving a loan. Sugi says an inquiry would have triggered an alert that someone was opening an account in his name and he could have stopped the loan.
The protection that are supposed to be in place, they are kind of ignored.
The bank says it did pull his credit, though it did not provide Sugi with any proof. In a statement, SoFi said, "We're confident in the fact that our team took all appropriate steps each and every time we went through our investigation process. We see no proof of third-party fraudulent activity and no proof of identity theft. We will not be relieving Mr. Harto of the responsibilities he committed to upholding when he personally applied for and accepted the personal loan."
I'm just a family man who tried to be a good person.
Sugi tells us he'd been hosting family members from his homeland in Indonesia over the holidays when he found out about the loan. As he agonized over what to do, he says his brother Rudy tried to help, urging him to report the fraud to authorities. So Sugi filed identity theft reports with the Federal Trade Commission, the police department in Brentwood where he lives, the state attorney general's office, and all 3 credit bureaus. He swore under penalty of perjury on the FTC report that an imposter took out the loan.
That's when 7 on Your Side decided to contact SoFi Bank, asking what evidence it used to identify the person who applied for that loan.
And that's when the story took a dramatic turn.
Renee, I got a big clue from you yesterday.
SoFi told 7 on Your Side it had plenty of evidence showing Sugi took out the loan, not an imposter. Bank officials at SoFi's San Francisco headquarters declined to go on camera, but in a written statement, SoFi said a man identifying himself as Sugi Harto called in December asking when he'd get the loan money. The bank said a recording of that voice matched a recording of Sugi's voice when he called in January to dispute the loan. SoFi did not provide results of any voice recognition software. Even more compelling, SoFi said it had video of Sugi verifying his identity during the online application process. The bank wrote, "We've retained the video he submitted of himself, which shows him holding the license up with his face in the frame before panning to his computer screen where he was applying for the loan. The man in the video is the same man pictured on his driver's license."
So I asked Sugi, "Did you make such a video?"
It was at that moment, Sugi says, the realization struck like a dagger.
I got a big clue from you yesterday when you mentioned about somebody recording and applying withholding driver license, my driver license. Number one, I never done that.
But he says it suddenly dawned on him who did. He knew the imposter, the real Killian Rose. Sugi said he now realized the thief was his own brother, Rudy, one of the family members who had been visiting from Indonesia over the holidays. Sugi says he and Rudy share a striking resemblance, and they are often mistaken for one another. It was Rudy who had helped him file identity theft reports, and Sugi said he now recalled Rudy did not seem surprised when the Killian Rose packet arrived at ABC 7 weeks later.
And he was like, oh, okay. So now, hopefully they will clear you. And I was like, it's not that simple.
One by one, he said the pieces fell into place. Sugi says Rudy had been staying at his Brentwood home in December and January. To make life easier for his guest, Sugi says he let his brother use his home computer, his Chase debit card, and his personal cell phone. Rudy also had access to Sugi's wallet with his driver's license. He says Rudy was alone in the house while Sugi and other family members were skiing in Oregon on the day the loan application was made. Rudy did not return to Indonesia until February, just after the Killian Rose packet was mailed.
I asked him point blank, do you have anything to do with this? His response was, do I need to get a lawyer? I was shocked when he said that because we are brothers. I opened my home to him, we close.
We told SoFi Bank Sugi now believed it was his look-alike brother who took out the loan while he was a guest in Sugi's house. Right away, the bank softened its stance a bit, offering to let Sugi open a new claim based on family fraud. Still, all signs pointed to Sugi as the one who took out the loan. Sugi confronted his brother again. He says this time he got answers.
He basically came clean. He did apply under my name. And I asked him, like, why? I mean, why? How were you able to rid me of? Stay in my house. He broke down, cried.
Sugi says Rudy told him he'd planned to replace the funds, but lost everything in a cryptocurrency scam. And so he tried to undo the damage by concocting the Killian Rose packet, confessing to the bank and to 7 on Your Side.
He's like, that's all I could think of if I make you an alibi.
Sugi says he felt torn. His brother may have scammed him, but Rudy will always be his little brother.
I don't know. This is, I don't know where to go from there.
My name is Rudy Yanto. I live in Indonesia. I brother with Sugi Harto.
Rudy Yanto of Indonesia met with 7 on Your Side over Zoom, hoping it could help the brother he allegedly swindled.
I went to America, visit Sugi Harto, my brother. I made mistake.
Rudy tells us he used the identity of his half-brother to apply for a $52,000 loan.
When I spoke with Rudy, he was very nervous. He'd been saying things like, I'm not a criminal, just made a mistake.
I want to make right, help him. I'm not sure how.
Rudy says he poured all of the loan money into a cryptocurrency investment he thought would pay him tens of thousands of dollars, and he'd pay his brother right back. But he says the crypto deal was a scam.
When I go and I scared, don't know what to do.
Rudy is wearing an eye patch after an injury he says he got in his new life. He says he's joined a volunteer organization traveling to remote Indonesian villages, teaching math and videography.
I try to be better, no more mistake.
Rudy, itu masih nggak jelasin.
Sugi talks with his brother over a spotty Zoom connection, hoping to heal the family rift.
Sugi had been furious with Rudy when he says he realized Rudy was the one who scammed him. But now Rudy was so remorseful and trying so hard to help, things had softened between them.
We are brothers. We close.
Still, the huge debt was looming. Rudy says he had tried before to get Sugi off the hook.
I use a name, Killian Rose.
He said he was the one who mailed this mysterious packet to SoFi Bank and 7 on Your Side in January. Rudy said he had stuffed the packet with Sugi's personal information, hoping to prove someone stole Sugi's identity. Now Rudy has told the bank directly he was the one who applied for that loan, not Sugi, and he wants to pay it back. Slowly. In an email to a SoFi attorney, he said, I applied for a personal loan using my brother information. My brother not know. but I want try to fix this. SoFi did not respond. The bank continues to say it has no reason to believe an imposter took out the loan. All evidence points to Sugi.
I asked SoFi Bank why it ignored Rudy's confession. The bank said it had no comment about his letter.
I need help to tell Sofi.
So in emails to 7 on Your Side, Rudy laid out how he says he fooled the bank one fateful night. He wrote, "Let us get to the point here. I, Rudy Yanto, applied for the loan in SoFi using my brother information. Why? I need money fast to get money out in a crypto investment I was in. The contact in the crypto, Killian Rose, said to borrow money from family or open a loan." Yes, Killian Rose, the name used in the mystery letter, was the alias he said the alleged crypto scammer was using. Rudy said he communicated with so-called Killian Rose over the messaging apps Telegram and WhatsApp, never in person. Rudy said Killian told him he had to deposit $50,000 into his crypto account to unlock the $80,000 he had earned. Rudy says he believed it. But how to get $50,000? Then he says he found his chance. Rudy writes, Sugi and family left for a trip to Oregon on December 18th. Rudy says he was alone in Sugi's house. He wanted to get the crypto money out. He says Killian told him he could easily get an online bank loan. He suggested 2 banks that advertise loans in as fast as 1 day. Rudy writes, Killian gave me idea to try to open loan under Kosugi name. He said, let's try, especially because I had his driver's license, know his social security number, and the bonus is I also look like him. Indeed, Rudy and Sugi bear a striking resemblance. Many can't tell them apart. He said the first bank rejected his application, so he applied to SoFi. And when it came to ID verification, he had to take a photo of himself and look exactly like Sugi. In an audio call, Rudy told Sugi and 7 on Your Side how he says he did it.
To look like Kosugi, I wore glasses, changed hair to look more bold, look more serious.
When selfies didn't work, Rudy says he edited portions of Zoom recordings he found on Sugi's laptop and tried to enter them into the verification app.
I have 4 videos in his laptop from some video meeting. I tried more than 3 times, all kinds of my face, his video.
When nothing worked, Rudy said a member of the crypto group came to Sugi's house and hacked into a database containing a security video of Sugi. Rudy claims a recording of that video got through ID verification, and the loan was approved.
Application got okay same day, same night. Killian said to call and ask money arrived when I did, and SoFi said 1 to 2 days.
$52,000 popped into Sugi's Chase account. Rudy says the crypto group encouraged him to go to several Chase branches to withdraw the money.
The group said, no problem, especially I look like Kosugi.
He said he withdrew large chunks at the teller's windows using Sugi's driver's license and debit card. He says he deleted bank alerts from Sugi's cell phone, converted the money to Bitcoin, and uploaded it to the crypto group. He writes, the plan, I get money back on December 29th, then return money to Kosugi and tell him everything. He then pay back SoFi. Problem, my crypto investment account closed that night, and I lost all money. Everything gone. Rudy says the stranger who went by Killian Rose took everything. He writes, I have no money, not sure how to explain to Kosugi, so I stay quiet. Rudy says he watched his brother struggle to figure out why a bank thought he took out a loan. He says he helped Sugi file identity theft reports, knowing he was the identity thief. When SoFi rejected Sugi's claim, Rudy said he came up with a plan. He writes, I created the Killian Rose package, trying to help Kosugi. I save his information, hoping SoFi blamed someone else. He says friends from San Francisco helped write a letter to persuade SoFi that a hacker took out the loan, not Sugi. Rudy says he wrote the letter first in Indonesian, then used ChatGPT and Google to translate the text.
And it spit out that letter, supposedly from Killian Rose.
He also said he wanted to make sure SoFi didn't ignore the confession and the fraud would be exposed. He writes, I went online searching for customer help news station. ABC7 came up. So he mailed the packet to SoFi Bank and 7 on Your Side. In emails to Sugi, translated from Indonesian, Rudy said, sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. How could I be tricked like this? It continues to hurt you and your family.
Yeah, he got tricked. Okay, but he did it.
Rudy agreed to provide some proof of the fraud, emailing these receipts for thousands of dollars in Bitcoin, allegedly purchased with the loan money in late December, and uploaded to the crypto group. We told SoFi about Rudy's confession. The bank said, we take these allegations incredibly seriously and are eager to receive information verifying Mr. Harto's claims. We look forward to cooperating with law enforcement in any investigation and reviewing any valid leads that can help resolve this matter. SoFi did not directly address Rudy's claims about evading the ID verification, but in a written statement, the bank said, quote, we've retained the original video Mr. Harto submitted during the application process, which includes a live recording of his face, a valid driver's license, and the computer screen where he was applying for the loan. SoFi still has not shown the video to Sugi.
No, I know I'm wrong. I wanna ask SoFi if I can pay back slow.
We can work something out. My family can stay whole.
I pay, not Sugi pay.
But none of that happened. There was no repayment plan, no blame for Killian Rose.
I think we got another fight in our hand.
Instead, Sugi discovered SoFi had quietly sold the loan to a debt buyer. Sugi says the bank never notified him.
They were hoping that we'll just quit. I'm not gonna stop fighting for my right. I mean, I don't know when this is gonna end, but I will fight this till the end.